Welcome back to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo, episode number 92. The conversation I want to get into today, what's next for Ryan Garcia and also Gervonta Tank Davis? If them two was to actually make a fight with each other, would it be a reflection of what Mayweather versus Oscar De La Hoya was? I'm going to break it all down in this video, so stay tuned. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell.
All right, FightHype.com with the legendary, one of the all-time great fighters, Mr. El Niño de Oro himself, Oscar De La Hoya.
What's up, brother?
Oscar, you ever is it ever funny to you that this kid you're promoting, Ryan Garcia, not only is fast like you were, from Southern California, good looking, but his best punch is the left hook too?
It's crazy. It's crazy. He might be faster. He might be stronger.
We try. Hold on. I don't know what he said, but we try to make this fight. For those that don't know, we tried to make this fight before. The kid Ryan Garcia. We tried to make the fight. He chose. What happened, Leonard? You know. Get a whole breakdown.
Yeah. I tried to make the fight, and they didn't want to fight.
So you guys know how I break my videos down in two different rounds. So round one would be about a fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Would it be as impactful as Mayweather versus Oscar De La Hoya was? Also in round two, what's the likelihood that a fight would be made between Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia? So let's get right into it. Would it be as impactful that when Mayweather fought Oscar De La Hoya? Obviously Mayweather made that move so he could transition to actually basically working for himself and making a big name for himself, and that's how he became a billionaire. It was a really brilliant move. But the fight itself, man, was very impactful. The build up, I remember everything, the press conferences, everything. Those two guys was ready to go, and I feel like Gervonta Tank Davis, he reminds me a lot of Mayweather in a sense. I think he has more power. Even though he's fighting at a lower weight class, they fought at 147. And obviously the fight would take place at 135, or it could take place at 142, because Gervonta Tank Davis kind of go back and forth. But I think that Ryan Garcia is getting too big for the division. So I think that I would think that it could happen at least at 140. Ryan Garcia, if you don't know, he's fighting at 139 right now against his next opponent, and Gervonta is fighting at 135 against Rolly Romero. So I think that it can have a huge impact. I think even if you don't have any belts attached to the fight, but I think as far as like selling, I think the numbers of pay-per-view could do very well. I think a lot of stars, I think people just in general with money that want to go to the fight, pay-per-view, everything, merchandise, everybody would tune into a fight like this because it's a very unique fight. And the reason why I brought up the uniqueness between Floyd Mayweather, the similarities between Floyd Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya, because Mayweather was a little bit smaller, he was shorter. Oscar had the speed, everything, just like Ryan Garcia. He had speed, power. Mayweather is a slick boxer, but the difference is between this fight, Gervonta Tank Davis has a ton of power. He can hit you with either hand. He can knock you down. He can hurt you bad. Mario Barrios was a great fight to show that he can fight a tall fighter. So I don't really want to get, like, if you guys get into the comments and say, well, Ryan Garcia is taller and all that other stuff, it's based on skills. I think it'll come down to who has the better defense. And right now, I think that Gervonta Tank Davis will actually win the fight because his defense is better. He has really smooth footwork. Ryan Garcia, his footwork is not there yet. His power is there and his speed is there, but his reflexes is not as great as Gervonta Tank Davis's is, and I think that Gervonta Tank Davis will probably have the edge. I think he would be the favorite and the bigger star. But Ryan Garcia, if you don't know, he's a very big star on social media, especially on YouTube. I actually follow him myself. I like Ryan Garcia. I think he's a really good boxer. I think he's getting better. I'm glad to see him kind of come back to the sport. He's very talented to be away from the sport of boxing. But the fight, to me, and this is my own opinion, you guys can get to the comments and let me know if you think how similar of a fight do you think? Well, let me put this in the right way. Would it remind you of Floyd Mayweather versus Oscar De La Hoya? I would say yes. There's a lot of similarities between Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia, and there's a lot of similarities between Gervonta Tank Davis and Mayweather. I think it'll be a tremendous fight. Both guys, if they come out with a win, hopefully we can get a fight, but I'm going to get into the likelihood of a fight actually being made. Maybe disappointing. But I would really, really hope that things could change, especially with a lot of these guys becoming free agents. You don't really have to worry about the networks or anything like that anymore. And I think even if Gervonta Tank Davis was to actually stay with Floyd Mayweather, I don't think it'd be that big of a deal, because Floyd Mayweather, you heard in the clip, they tried to make the fight between the two. And I think that maybe Ryan Garcia, his headspace was not where it needed to be to actually take a fight of that magnitude. But it's better to make the fight now and then wait till later. But I think it could put both guys on the map. I think that either win, lose, or draw, especially, I think, even though I'm saying Tank will win, but I think both guys are win tremendously, especially with the media. But let's get into round two. So let's get into round two. So, man, what's the likelihood that a fight between Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia will be made? Man, I don't really have much hope for it. I think that it can maybe happen maybe a couple more years down the road. I hate to say that, but like I say, in the first round that Mayweather was pushing for the fight, I don't know what happened on either side. Like I say, maybe Ryan Garcia headspace was not right. Maybe the numbers wasn't right. Maybe there's a lot of politics in between. But I think that if, say that both guys show out in their next fight, I think that the confidence level, especially on the Ryan Garcia side, because I feel like no matter if Tank is with Floyd Mayweather or just strictly with the PBC, they're gonna have confidence in Tank no matter what, because of his equalizers in both hands. But Ryan Garcia, if he can come back, he can get a good win, good knockout win. So a lot of speed, power, like he always does. Even in the Luke Campbell fight, he took a spill, whatever. He got back up. He showed that the reason why he's an elite fighter. A lot of guys would have been laid down. The confidence level would have been done. He knocked Luke Campbell out with a body shot. So to me, Ryan Garcia has the skills to pay the bills, and I would really love to see the fight. But I think Oscar De La Hoya has to trust him to go into a big major fight like that and not get embarrassed. And I think if he can come back and maybe get a really good solid win and maybe one other fight, I don't know who the way Ryan Garcia is in and out of the ring, I would like to see him be more consistent with maybe getting another, maybe even 2 fights this year. Everybody seems like they fighting in the summertime. So everything could line up to where these guys could actually make a major fight. It does not take a championship belt to make a fight. These guys hold weight. Ryan Garcia holds a lot of weight over social media, and obviously Tank holds a ton of weight when it comes to the sport of boxing. He is next in line to be overall, like megastar wise. When I ain't talking about pound for pound list, I'm just talking about overall being a superstar. He's right on the cusp of Canelo Alvarez's heels. Like I say, you put both of those guys in the ring, they're gonna do numbers. Pay-per-view, everything is going to be special. But I think that for the fight to be made, I think there has to be a very big trust between Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia. I think Oscar De La Hoya want to make sure that he's not going to put him in a situation to where he's going to get knocked out. I think that Tank can knock anybody out. I think he can definitely knock Ryan Garcia out. And I think that both guys have a tough fight coming up. But what I want to see from Ryan Garcia is his defense. His speed, everything else is there. He has very slow feet. He does not have quick feet he got fast reflexes when it comes to throwing punches, but a lot of times a lot of guys will break down a fight like that, but you got to have really fast reflexes against a guy like Gervonta Tank Davis, somebody that can walk you down and corner you. Gervonta is really good at walking people down and putting you in the corner and knocking you out. He did Leo Santa Cruz like that. He was taking a couple shots here and there. It wasn't phasing him. And guess what? He put Leo Santa Cruz in the next planet. But I think that I think that Ryan Garcia would be false. I think the fight would be very similar to Leo Santa Cruz, which he was taller than Gervonta Tank Davis, and also Mario Barrios was very tall. He was 5'10", and that's the same height that Ryan Garcia is. So I think that Ryan Garcia really has to show Oscar De La Hoya that he can survive in the moment, in the biggest moments, and plus that stage will be so big, and he got to also trust that he will not pull out of a fight. Ryan Garcia has pulled out a couple fights, if I'm not mistaken. So I think more to get the fight to be made, that Ryan Garcia going to have to show up in his next fight. He's going to have to show up. He's going to have to prove a lot. He's going to have to show. We already know that he has a chin because he obviously he has a chin. He got up, he did what he had to do, and he actually won the fight against Luke Campbell. But he has to kind of show the mental side of it. It's hard to get up out of bed and go fight somebody that you don't really have a anger issue with, or it's different. You got to train to beat somebody. So it's a lot of pressure on these kids. To, at 23, 24 years old. Even Tank. Tank got a big heavy. He got big heavy hands, and everybody expect him to knock everybody out. But you guys, let me know what you think about this topic down in the comments below. That's going to conclude another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo, episode number 92. You guys let me know what you think about this topic down in the comments below. If you want to see what I'm wearing, shoptachi.com. Follow me on all social media platforms that are currently on. Links will be down in the descriptions below. I always want to thank you guys for tuning in each and every single day to my channel. Always give me the inspiration to keep going. Also, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell. It's very, very important for the algorithm of YouTube, so my videos can get shared more, like more. All that stuff helps for the growth of the channel. With all that out of the way, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo.